I've got a button this time, so now I can actually stop my damn broadcast. And we're live. How's it going, guys? We are live. You know that thing where people can see you and interact? I'm told it's called live. I could be wrong.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Boomer, I have to say, and please nobody take this the wrong way, Boomer, you are really white. Please don't ever utter that again. Where the party at? Right here, BNO. Hello, Anaki, Lewis, Becky, Country Girl, PM, Adventures, everybody that's in the chat. Welcome to Whacked Out Wednesday. Now, we've got 2 stories for you this week. I may have more, we don't know, but there's 2 for sure right now. As you saw by the title, Whacked Out Marriages. Glad you got that all worked out. I know, right? Okay, so for any of you that missed when I had like my stream the other day where I was like being typical me and being a complete just venting, okay? Anyways, guys, regardless of how that came across, I don't have hard feelings towards anyone. I'm just kind of it's one of those things where, you get stung, you know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense? Anybody? Somebody? Fucking somebody answer me. Psycho Ghost Tracker, what's up? Anyways, yeah, that's what it was about, guys. It can be taken whatever way you want. I don't really care. On with the show. That's not what we're here to talk about tonight, guys. We are here to talk about whacked out marriages. So last time we did a whacked out Wednesday, the very first whacked out Wednesday was actually about Valentine's Day. Okay. That one, it wasn't too bad. Although I think this story, well, these 2 stories are probably going to make you want to vomit, laugh, and cry all at once.
And the people out in the chat, it's their job to tell us which one of the stories is real and which one is fake.
Yeah, I want to know, guys. I want you guys to keep track. I want you guys to interact with these, ask the questions. I don't care. Say random stuff. Just pay attention to what's being said. Hey, Mike Earl, what's up? Darwin, how's it going? Zach Fisher, how's it going? So, are you ready to jump on? Mm-hmm. Brian's going to be joining us as well, of course. So, just give me a second to get him. Now I have that song stuck in my head. I hate you sometimes. I really hate you.
Yeah.
Not you, Brian. Ghost. Now he's got that damn song stuck in my head. And I've got like that dance that they do on the Fresh Prince. It's really like, oh my god. Okay, I sent it to your phone. You should get it. I just picture like I can picture Brian being like extremely drunk and doing that dance.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Actually. It would be really fucking funny.
Quite comical.
Is Debbie C here? I haven't seen her in the chat. I don't know if Dougie's still here. I know Dougie West was here. Dougie, do you know if where Debbie is? I guess Zach's looking for her. Hey, Chris, long time no see. What's up? West Haven, how's it going? Green Street Recycling Man, how's it going? Chris, 802.
Oh, nice. How's it going, everybody?
Turn on the light. Okay.
Ghost.
Oops, that's the wrong button. Hang on. All right, guys. So, the first story. I'm gonna have to mute.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
Okay. I really hate this, how it echoes just because we're in the same fucking room. That really drives me nuts. Anyways, guys, the first story. Now, this story was actually sent to me by Lady Swan. So she actually does, like I help out with EVPs, she helps out with EVPs as well. And she has also been helping me with Whacked Out Wednesdays, as well as Ghost and Brian, obviously. We all work together. Boomer, I haven't told the story yet.
Yeah, Boomer.
But so we're gonna get started with this very first story.
Right.
And it comes out of Ohio, just so you know. Okay. So now, do you want me? I'll let the chat decide. Do you want me to read it to you guys? I can read the story to you, or I can describe it to you in short form. It's completely up to you guys. If you want to hear story time, then I'm more than happy to read it.
You know, I think it's creepier read right off of the news feed.
Okay.
It's just like it brings up a lot of questions.
All right. Give me 1 second here to pull it up. I gotta get to the right thing first. Hang on. Everything so unorganized. I'm such a slacker. I get on live stream and I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Huh?
Oh my god.
I agree.
You can kiss my ass.
Oh, you should.
To everyone just joining, hey Eileen, what's up? Jenny, how's it going? Scotsman, how's it going?
How's it going, everybody?
Okay, so the one that I had the original posting for will not open.
Darwin comes in right away. He's like, fake.
I don't know. Some creepy things happen in Ohio. Ghost tells me about a lot of weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
Hey,
makes me
girl.
question whether or not I want to go to Ohio. Just saying. Hello, Gina. What's up? Drode, how's it going? Okay. Heather, the link's not working.
Yeah, why is everyone saying fake?
What? The story?
Oh,
Because I'm going to be giving them 2 stories, one of which is going to be fake and one is going to be real, but it's up to them to tell me what they think.
The link to the first story from last week.
Yeah, it's not working.
Hold on, she's working on it.
Anyways, I'll give you the title of it, okay? Centerville, Ohio woman charged after slowly eating her husband alive over 3 years, guys. Okay? I'm going to probably if we can't get it to load, what I'm going to do, guys, I'll just paraphrase it for you. I'll give you the gist of it. A 62-year-old Centerville, Ohio woman has been arrested on charges of mutilation and assault for a brutal crime involving her 65-year-old husband. Now, what had happened was the neighbors had noticed her doing something in her living room. Her husband is wheelchair bound. Okay. If I remember correctly, he was a vet. Okay. And he, for some reason, I guess, I don't know if he was mute. It didn't say if he was mute or whatnot, but she had been cutting pieces off of him because she couldn't afford food. So she was literally cutting pieces off of her husband, who was in a wheelchair, and eating them.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a paraplegic. Okay. And the neighbor had seen her in the living room doing something suspicious and called the police. Okay. Well, you guys can't say what you think yet about whether it's fake or true because you have to listen to both stories. Okay. Now, when the police got there, they found that he had been missing both his legs, both his arms. So he was literally just a torso. And by the time they had got there, she had already cut chunks out of his abdomen and was eating them. Okay. It did not say if she was cooking it. It did not say how she was eating it, just that she was eating it. Okay. She had been put up on charges and arrested for, well, like I said at the beginning. Okay. Now, they did say that he did survive. Okay. My question is, because I want to have a discussion about this. Yeah, I visualized it too when I read it. Trust me.
I did too, yeah.
So did Ghost. So did Lady Swan.
My question is, okay, if she didn't have enough food to eat and she was eating pieces of flesh that she had cut off her husband, what was she feeding him to keep him alive?
See, that's my question.
You know,
my question is, does she have some kind of medical background? Because it never said if she had a medical background. Because wounds that deep, to get any meat, you have to go deep into that skin. Okay, so if she's just cutting off the flesh, she's eating the fat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So is she stitching him up and like cauterizing these wounds, or how is she keeping him sustained?
And how is she cauterizing them?
Well,
Yeah.
the frying pan's hot, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if she cooked it, right?
Right.
Now, here's the twisted thing, see, and Gina thought the same thing I did. Hey, Diana, what's up?
What's up,
So
Diana?
she thought the same thing I did. Okay, was she feeding him?
Right.
Did he eat his balls?
It didn't say anything about that. Okay.
Wait. Why is it every time Brian has a question, it's always got to go right straight to that?
I think-
don't know.
I think living with me, he's worried if it ever came down to that, that'd be the first spot to go.
I mean, Brian, if you ever get stuck in a wheelchair and Joe just decides to eat you, do you think she's going to eat your private parts first?
No.
Or you think she'll save them for last?
My question is too, it did not mention if he was a mute.
Right?
So how could you not hear this man screaming? Now they did say that they took him to the ER. He did get checked out. He is seeing a therapist because of all the trauma, obviously. You know what I mean? But they don't think he's ever going to be mentally okay ever again.
Oh, mentally? That dude's
Me-
screwed up.
Oh yeah, he's going to be completely messed up.
Oh yeah.
There's no, how could you not be? I mean, someone who loves and cares for you supposedly is cutting pieces off of you.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I mean, in sickness and in health, and I'm, like, where do you draw the line there? That's my question. Where do you draw the line? I mean, I personally could not eat my spouse. I could not eat a person. Okay.
Evidently, she drew the line right about the abdomen and then followed it.
Not at all, Boomer.
That's nasty. Ghost. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, they had been married for, what was it, like 20, 30 years? Something
Yeah.
like that? 20,
Yeah.
30 years, guys. I mean, did he give her permission? They never did say. They never said what his take was on it.
Well, that's the thing. The story said that this was going on over the course of 3 years. How big was this dude originally to feed her and him for 3 years?
Right?
You know what I mean? I mean, I've went out to a butcher shop and I've seen $1,100 sides of beef, and it doesn't last you the whole summer. Okay,
Oh, hell no.
it just don't. I mean, you can have some cookouts, some steaks, and stuff like that, but I mean, 1,100 pounds of beef doesn't last you a year. Okay.
Well, this is just it. But like I said, if she started out just eating the flesh, then she was technically just eating the fat, which would sustain her. The fat would sustain her. You know what I mean? They never said if she got down to the meat or the muscle or anything like that, just that she was cutting off pieces of flesh. I mean, she had to have got down to the muscle and meat when she took his legs off. She took his legs, both his legs, and both his arms. I'm sorry, let's see. Hanging in there, thank you. I'm just reading some of the chat. He would have bled to death unless she was a surgeon. Well, that's the thing, Eileen. It didn't say if she had a medical background. It didn't say. There was some stitching done on his abdomen from what I remember. So
Well,
I don't know if it was half-assed and she just kind of guessed.
If he's paralyzed from the neck down, he's not going to feel it when she cuts him, right?
Yeah,
He
but
has
he'll
no
still
feeling.
bleed.
Yeah, he'd still bleed, but if he's not, like maybe she blindfolded him, he's not seeing what she's doing, and he can't feel it, so his blood pressure doesn't rise. He doesn't get excited about it. He's not freaking out, which means his blood isn't going to go. Psst, psst,
Yeah.
psst,
That's a good question.
It's going to be normal.
If she took legs and arms, where did the bones go from the legs and arms? And see, that's another thing. The story didn't say. Yeah, could have made broth. Ew. I just got sick after saying that.
Gives new definition of man gravy, doesn't it?
Oh, what's up? That was nasty.
Yes, I went
This is
there.
the most insane thing. I keep picturing the situation. Did she give him anything? It didn't say. You got to remember, he's a paraplegic, so I mean, he wouldn't feel the pain. So what if she just did it while he was sleeping, tied a tourniquet around the leg or the arm or whatever? You know, it's sick that we can actually think of these things, but that's pretty much how you would have to do it.
I mean,
Because
even if she tied a blindfold around his eyes so he couldn't see what she was doing, he wouldn't be able to feel what she was doing anyway.
this is true.
You know, I mean, and
But I
he
mean,
can't
when
take the blindfold off. So
well, wouldn't you notice? I mean, she takes the blindfold off, and you've all of a sudden don't have a leg. You know, like I don't know. And it never said if she like took the pieces off that day to eat that day, or if she was cutting them off and storing them away, or what she was doing. It didn't give that stuff.
Oh, Nikki, oh Craig, I'm hungry. Come here.
If you want to get rid of bone, feed them to pigs, they devour. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. There was actually a story up here about a murderer that did that to people. He threw his victims into pig farms.
You could take a whole arm off, strip all the flesh off the bone, run it through a grinder, turn it into like a hamburger, and then like make goulash or chili or something like that and can it so it lasts you a while.
I guess.
You know what
I mean,
mean?
you would have to.
Eating leftovers, or you could call it sloppy seconds for that matter. I mean,
well, there you go. Mutt Nuts review. She probably used a hot knife because it would cauterize it as she's cutting, which is true. It would.
yeah.
It would. Country Girl says, I'm glad I got sick earlier. Yeah, we told you guys, hey Warsaw, we told you guys that this week's conversation was gonna be pretty gruesome, pretty messed up. Now here's the thing though, like there's so many questions that there's more questions than there is answers, you know what I mean? Which doesn't necessarily make a story fake or real, okay? It just means the reporter did a shitty job, and sometimes the reporters can't get all the information because it's not available. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, in Alberta years ago, a pig farmer. Yeah, see, there you go. That's what I was talking about. A pig farmer was feeding his pigs humans. It happened. You ghost, there might have been bits of burger. No thanks. See, and this is the thing. What if she was cutting it off, saying she lived on a farm or something, and selling it so she had money to buy actual food?
Hey, Simply Nika.
That could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Because it said that she was cutting him and eating, like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't really say too much. It's kind of a gray area in my eyes.
All I know is just don't buy a rump roast off a little old lady on Craigslist, all right?
Don't buy any food out of the black market.
And the next story that we have, guys, I'm going to bring it up now because I want to continue the discussion about this story and the other story as well. There is a lady, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Weird Addictions. Have you ever seen that show? I don't know if you guys get it in the States, but up here there used to be a show called Weird Addictions, and it featured people that would eat like stuffing from couches and like clothing and just really weird shit.
We have a show like that called Taboo, I think it's called. There was one lady that she would eat paint like out of the spray can.
Ew.
Like spray it on her tongue, eat it.
Yeah, there was a guy on the show that I was talking about, and he was eating glass. This other guy and this woman were actually paying people to come into their house, and these people were willingly letting them drain some of their blood, and they would just eat off of random people. But these people had to provide like blood tests proving they had no diseases and that they were healthy, and they never like drained them of their blood, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, oh my god, my OCD with that show. Okay, so this story, oh my fucking god, what the fuck? I know, guys, it gets pretty twisted, okay? Make sure you guys are tweeting this out, smashing that like button. We don't sit around all day, guys, but we do take time and, like, dive into, like, really weird-ass shit. The things we do when we're not on YouTube, I'm telling you, we even have...
This is just...
Yeah.
We even have real vampires.
I swear to God, we are not weirdos, okay? We do this solely for your entertainment, guys. Hell, we even have our own Guess That Tune, okay? We were actually playing that earlier.
Yeah.
Hey, Becky. Anyways, okay.
PM's adventure vlogs. I heard you won one of Lunatic Dad's giveaways.
Oh, way to go, PM. Congrats. You got to congratulate PM.
Congrats, PM.
I'm not twisted, guys. I'm just giving you the stories. That's all it is. I swear to God. And to be honest with you, I looked up this story. Lady Swan found me the last story that we just spoke about, okay? So, I mean, you come across things on Facebook and you're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Okay, so this one is kind of like that. This woman's husband, she had been married for over 40 years, okay? 40 years. They were high school sweethearts. And he died. He ended up dying in a car wreck. Okay. Very tragic, guys. I know. And some people don't get over that. Okay. Now, before you say, oh my God, was she eating him? No, she was not eating him. Well, per se. Okay. She had him cremated and she was storing his ashes in her fridge and she would eat a handful of ashes, his ashes, a day so he could be part of her. Now, my question is when that runs out, what are you going to do? I am positive, Becky. Congrats, Gregory. But yeah, so this lady literally was nature. What the fuck? I'm getting a lot of what the fucks in the chat tonight. Okay, so this lady, like, I mean, it's sad when you think about it. You know, everybody deals with grief in a different way, in their own way. But to eat your husband's ashes? Again, I don't know what's worse, eating him while he's still alive or mowing down on ashes.
Ashes would probably be.
I did that one time to the McCormick after he died. I put his ashes in a chocolate milk mix and I drank it.
But see, this is the thing, is she was eating them by hand. Like you guys ever heard of the cinnamon challenge? Okay. Imagine you put cinnamon in your mouth and you choke on it. How the hell are you taking down ashes? And she was scooping it up like a small little handful a day. Like, what does that do to your system? Hey, Big Tiny and Goldie, what's up? It's Big Tiny. Sorry, I just saw that message.
Ashes make more sense to me. Now, I mean, you could kill the taste of the ashes, like, you know, you put the ashes in your meatloaf mix and mix it into the meatloaf. You know, nobody, you wouldn't taste it. You wouldn't know it was there, and you just eat the meatloaf. You know,
this is true.
I mean, mix it in with your banana nut muffin mix. You know.
It's all a bit sick. No cinnamon ash challenge. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, I'm a little screwed up, but I could not picture doing any of that stuff, any of it. Okay, I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe this is just like we're doing good. Maybe it's just my human side, I guess you could say. I couldn't picture putting someone through that kind of pain. And then I couldn't picture sitting down and eating the ashes. I mean, I don't know what a cremated body smells like. Okay. Well, I kind of do. But I don't want to know, like, does it taste like barbecue? Like, how can you stomach that? And I know that sounds like a really sick statement that I just said that, but you know what I mean?
And it's sad that I know this because I was in the fire department for 10 years and I know what it smells like. The worst part is the burning hair smell.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst part.
I agree.
Because, you know, when it gets down to actual burnt flesh, it smells like cooking meat. Just like if you throw a steak on the stove in the kitchen, you get that smell. After a while, it smells, you know, you get that. I don't know. It's kind of a morbid thing because, you know, being in the fire department, you smell that. It smells like burnt hair and a good steak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I've smelt it being in funeral homes and that, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't think it would be the same. Like, what'd she do? Tell him, hey, I'm really gonna miss him. Can you, as a last request, cover my husband in barbecue sauce before you char him?
Right?
Like, I mean, how could you stomach? Because regardless, the ashes are gonna be ash. They're gonna be sandy. It's gonna taste like grit. You know what I mean?
Well,
I would assume anyway.
They're sterile.
This is
So
true.
they've been burned. They're sterile. There's no germs on them. They're perfectly, they're ashes. They're dirty, but they're clean, so to speak, too. They're
Okay.
sterile.
So I'm gonna catch people up. Guys, this is my new show, okay? Our new show. Obviously, you see Brian and Ghost up here. It's called Whacked Out Wednesdays. We will be finding stories off the internet, off news feeds, live news feeds, tabloids, and it's your job to tell us which stories are real, which ones are fake. We're going to give you 2 to 3 each show. So far, and I will get back to the main story, guys, okay, that we were just talking about with the lady with the ashes. So far, we have covered a lady that was slowly eating her husband of 20 to 30 years over a 3-year period. He was a paraplegic. He was alive. He was in his wheelchair, and she was cutting pieces off of him so she could survive. Okay. Now we were talking about a lady whose husband passed away, and she eats his ashes to feel closer to him. Yeah, I was in a truck when my dad pulled up on a burning car. 3-year-old lost his life. Aw. That's so sad. What the F? Well, Warsaw, the whole point of this is shock value. Okay. So, I mean, you guys hear these, that's fucked up either way. It is. It's really messed up either way. She was eating, yeah, the first lady was eating him alive. He was still alive. When the neighbor noticed what she was finally doing, because she saw her cutting a piece off of him while she was in the living room, the neighbor saw it, called the cops, got there, and he was missing both his legs, his arms, and his abdomen had slices cut out of it. And she had been doing this over a 3-year period in Centerville, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So the other lady, it did not disclose where she lives, but she was featured on that show. She was eating his ashes.
Yep. Every
So,
day.
like I said, though, these are both reports that came from news. Okay, so we will get in. I will tell you at the end of the stream which one was real, which one was fake. But I want to know your input. Like we said, how could you keep him alive for 3 years if you can't afford to feed yourself? What are you feeding him? Himself?
All right.
Probably the parts that she didn't want to eat.
This is true.
I've had that part in my mouth before. You eat it now.
Right.
Oh my god. Really?
Just saying.
I know what that part tastes like. Here, you have it.
I've had my fill.
Oh my god. When you think about it, and then this is gonna sound really twisted, guys. Okay, it's not time to guess yet, so don't put any guesses in. Okay, hold your guesses till the end.
I know what that burning
For,
is. Gross.
you know, and it's gonna sound gross, so don't judge me when I say it. Okay, Brian kind of had his first idea was, okay, well, what happened to his genitals? Okay, they didn't say if he still had them. But what if she was pissed off at him and was like, here, eat this, and that's what she fed him.
Warsaw said the same thing. See?
Yeah, see, Warsaw. Wonder if she would eat his balls first.
I'm not the only one.
Guys, make sure you're smashing the like button and tweeting this out. But
being his wife of 30 years and him being, handicapped, paraplegic, I would have thought that he would have had a nurse that would have come in occasionally, or, maybe the wife was taking care of him, Obviously he can't even go to the bathroom himself. He's got to have help with that. So,
yeah,
well,
that's what leads.
She could have been feeding him his own excrement. You know what I mean?
This is true.
Yeah.
See, this is what leads me to believe that she had a medical background.
Right.
Because, I mean, if you have a nurse come into your house, now
Yeah,
I know
you wouldn't get away with it for no 3 years. Right?
Oh God, no, not unless the nurse was in on it too.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nowadays they teach you how to do that stuff, so you don't need to pay a nurse to come in.
Yeah, but they still have like a hospice come in and check on them, I would think, unless she actually was a nurse.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah. Which Centerville is not that far from me, and there is a lot of nursing schools in this area. So it's very possible that she could have been a nurse. There is a lot. I mean, Wheeling Park, OVMC, they're downtown Wheeling was one of the biggest nursing schools in the East Coast. So there's a lot of nurses in this area, and there's a lot of like in-home care places that will send you to nursing school in this area. So there's a lot of people with medical background in this area. So.
Yeah.
Boomer. Hard to go to the bathroom after your wife eats your asshole.
His liver with.
Oh my god. But you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of those, they leave a lot of, even the lady with the ashes, they leave a lot of questions unanswered. Okay? Obviously, they're not going to tell you the whole story. But that's the kind of things that the general public wonders, right? Like, you see stories like this come across the news and you're like, what? How about your man's ribs? No
I don't
part.
think she made it that far yet. She was probably looking at some good baby back ribs, but
my god. Hello to everyone joining us.
Baby back. I want my baby back.
Tonight, guys, we are talking about whacked out stories. Tonight, it's whacked out marriages. As you know, guys, this is the new series, Whacked Out Wednesdays. If you guys have weird stories, message me, okay? My email is in my about section, guys. You can message me anytime. Just email me a story if you're wanting us to discuss it and go through it. Now, mind you, I don't want you, when you come to the chat, I don't want you to put in your guess, because I will research the stories and rip them apart and find out which one's real, which one's not. And if you already know if it's real or fake, then you can't guess. It's not fair. But
Brian, picture this. You are a paraplegic. You're in a wheelchair. Your wife puts you to bed. She says, Brian, we're going to try something different this evening. And she blindfolds you. And she's, massaging you. She's rubbing you down all over. She takes the blindfold off, and you're orange from all the seasoning. We're talking like the meat rubs that you can get. She's just grass, You're like, what's this all about? Don't mind.
I'm sorry. You just gave me an image of her marinating his legs before she did this. That's so fucking horrible.
You have that powder rub stuff that you can get.
The dry rub?
Yeah, the dry rub.
No.
Oh.
There you go.
No.
But I mean, you wouldn't feel it, right? So, and if you're blindfolded, I mean, I guess you would wonder what the smell is, though. Because you'd be like, wow, what does that smell? It smells like a barbecue.
Right? You're probably digging the smell. This is one of the man smells. Barbecue smells good.
Damn.
See, you could probably get away with telling them that it's new lube.
I agree, Gina. If that's true, we're all freaking morbid.
Country girl says my boyfriend is changing his mind about marrying me. Oh my god. Hey Lisa, what's up?
She doesn't have a spice rack. She's got a whole cabinet full of spices. What?
Oh my god. Listen, if her cabinet of spices is more than just a small little cabinet, you better run.
Right.
If she tells you, no, I'm just really into cooking, and she has a walk-in pantry that's nothing but like rubs and recipes for meat, start running.
Right?
So that's another thing. Like, I would assume that human flesh and meat would be hard, like tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on where you're slicing it from. I mean, and again, 10 years in the fire department, but straight out of high school, I worked in a slaughterhouse, especially at deer season. And,
oh boy. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all in where you're slicing the meat from. You know what I mean? There's going to be certain areas of the human body that's a lot more tender.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I mean, think about it. A grown man, okay, and up until him becoming a paraplegic, he would have had to been pretty muscular. He was a vet. Okay. So he had to be in at least somewhat decent shape. Maybe his muscles, obviously, after not using them for a couple of years, they're going to deteriorate a bit, but it's still going to be pretty hard. Like look at veal versus just beef. They keep the calves in a small little hut so they don't gain that muscle,
Right.
So I would assume it would be the same thing with humans, you know? Boyd says there was a couple who went out for an anniversary dinner after out to a restaurant. She went under the table to give him a happy, and she ends up having a seizure on his Mr. Happy.
Oh.
She'd be biting
Ooh,
it. She'd be like,
that'd be excruciating. And I'm not even a dude, and I feel for him.
Wait, wasn't that in a movie?
I don't know.
That was
Maybe.
in
There was. I was watching a movie today that actually had something like that where she got locked on. It got stuck down her throat.
the husband stabbed her in the forehead with a fork.
Yeah, that was the same movie that I was talking about.
Remember reading my dad's EMS, EMT books on how different ways to stop bleeding and how you. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like tourniquets, that would be the only thing I could think unless she was cauterizing them as she was cutting them. But I mean, how long can you sustain eating? Well, obviously the limit was 3 years, apparently, with her because she got caught. But after that 3-year mark, what would she have done if she got away with it and he just wasn't there anymore? Like, would she starve to death or what? Like, how would that even work? And the same with the lady with the ashes, okay? Like, yeah, you're saying they're sterile, but at the same time, it can't be good for your body.
Well, actually, the carbon you're supposed to take in so much carbon a day. Carbon, and they'll teach you this in the military and survival training. They'll tell you in order to keep from getting sick out in the field,
Mm-hmm.
you take a couple of pieces of burnt sticks,
Mm-hmm.
the black charred remains. That's the carbon, and you take a rock and you grind that up. And you mix it into your water, so you have that little bit of carbon intake, and that helps cleanse your system.
This is true.
So, I mean, actually, those ashes could be good for you.
Good night,
They're
PM.
fun, so there's no disease in them. They're not infected with anything. They're burnt clean. So,
Well, see, and Aniki brought up another good point too. What if he allowed her to do this and everybody, because he can't talk, obviously, you know what I mean? Or I assume he can't talk because he never said a word to them. So maybe he allowed her to do this because of his state, because maybe he wasn't going to last long. Who knew? Like, you just don't know these things. And I mean, that's pretty sick and twisted, but
in this day and age, I mean, this happened in Ohio, not too far from where I'm at. Okay. In this day and age, if you can't afford to eat, there's several options out there. You can go to the churches, you can get the commodities, you can go to the Salvation Army. They do it at like every Wednesdays. Different churches, House of the Carpenters. There's always places to go and get food. So it's almost impossible to starve to death unless you're just too lazy to go out and get the help that you need.
This is true, but I mean, if she's stuck at home having to take care of him, maybe it was one of those situations where she couldn't go and get the stuff and had no one to go get it for her. Because they never did say if she was in any way disabled, or if she, you know what I mean, if she couldn't leave the house or what. Because I couldn't imagine that she would leave the house doing that to her husband. I couldn't imagine her leaving the house and giving him a chance to find a way, if it was done against his will. PM did leave. I didn't get to say goodbye properly, but thank you for coming, PM. Rather die than eat a human being. Well, this is true. I feel the same way, Warsaw. I mean, if worst case scenario, I'd start hunting squirrels in my backyard.
Right. Sorry, I'm up.
Hey, if it means that I don't have to eat my spouse or or another person, it's just, yeah, I'll eat bugs for all I care.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I heard those tree bugs are good.
Ew. Balls, bugs. Oh my God, Brian. Prostitutes on the corner of DNR don't taste good. Tainted. Oh, Boyd. It's funny the neglect. Funny the neglect to use the word allegedly. Well, see, this is the thing, is this is how it was wrote. You know what I mean? Like, if this was actually done, and if that lady actually eats ashes, because I mean, some people, now it showed her on the show eating the ashes, okay? But who's to say it was ashes of actual human? How come, like, how do you know she didn't fabricate the story just so she could be on the show? You know, that 15 minutes of fame. Hey, what's up, Green Bay? How's it going? I'm going to warn you right now to everybody that's coming in. This is Whacked Out Wednesdays. You may get sick. You may go, what the fuck, a couple of times, okay? This story is about whacked out marriages, and there is 2 stories. At the end of this stream, just before we cut it off, guys, I want to know true or false, you know, which story is real, which one's fake. And yeah, we'll let you know at the end of the stream. But I want everyone to jump in the conversation, and I would say enjoy, but there's really nothing much to enjoy about these stories. They're kind of not kind of, they are twisted. Okay, they are twisted, they are sick. It's not for the faint of heart. If you get sick easily or you get offended easily, it's probably not the one to be tuning into.
Okay, so
I have a weak stomach. Tweeted it. Thank you, Green Bay.
Thanks, Wack.
if somebody locked you in a room and said you had to do one or the other, you had to eat your living husband piece by piece over the course of the next 3 years, or he dies and you eat his ashes, which one would you do?
Wait, is he dying of natural causes? Or is like someone gonna murder him?
Someone's gonna murder him, probably. I don't know. It's like one of those Saw situations. You're stuck in a room with him, eat him alive, or I kill him and you eat his ashes.
What happens if I don't do either?
You die.
Then I take the third option.
And I feed the ashes to your dog.
You feed the ashes and meat to my dog?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the times that I've told her to stop shitting in my basement or jumping on my couch, I mean, she'd probably enjoy that.
Anyway, you know what I meant.
I honestly, I would take, if the option was I either die or eat him or eat his ashes, I would just say, let me die. Honestly.
I want to live. I'm be like,
so you're saying you
look, if you're gonna kill him, and the only way for me to get out, he's gonna die anyway. You know, he's a paraplegic. You know, and he's saying, "Do it, go ahead, do it." You know, whatever. The ashes. I think the ashes would be a lot easier to swallow than raw flesh. You know what I mean?
so
I'm just saying, if you had to.
Lady Swan, make that a mental note. If you're ever in this situation, take Ghost out first. He's going to let you die so he can eat your damn ashes.
Wacky will do ashes over a salad with mayo.
I adore and looks on his face. Gina says, my roommate opened my door with this look on his face. Turned this down a bit.
See, I got to show you though.
Good night, West Star.
Look at this. You see this? Lady Swan is over here and she's getting ready. She's munching down on hot pepper cheese and jalapenos. And she's just like, I know that you didn't like hot stuff.
Yeah, so basically, if she's gonna go down, you're gonna feel it coming out. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
exactly.
Joey, what's up?
She's gonna kick me in the ass one way or another.
Sweet. I will warn you, Joey. I hope you have your headphones in so the kids don't hear these stories because they're pretty gruesome tonight. It's well, yeah, I would say gruesome.
Yeah.
We're talking about whacked out marriages. This lady ate her husband for 3 years to survive slowly. He was a paraplegic, and this other lady has been eating her husband's ashes. So I don't want the kids to hear it. But yeah. So, Lady Swan, you also need to rub yourself down with anything spicy that you know is gonna, you know. Now, here's a question though, okay? You say that, but truly deep down, you wouldn't let anybody hurt your spouse. Okay? If you're in that scenario and you've got nothing to defend yourself, and that's the scenario that's going on, I don't see you actually saying, "Oh, fuck it, you know, just take her, I'll eat her ashes." I don't see that one bit.
No,
Well,
I mean,
window.
honestly, in that instance, it would probably be the person trying to lock us up, be stuck in the room, and I would be behind the gun. But
I
you
don't
know,
know about kids.
don't push a 300-pound, 6'2" retired firefighter around that easily. You know what I mean?
This is true. So, Green Bay, here's the 2 stories, okay? I'll recap for the ones that are just coming in because at the end, like I said, I want you guys to tell me which is real and which is fake. Okay? The first story that we're talking about, a lady from Centerville, Ohio, got caught by her neighbor who saw it through a living room window. She was doing something suspicious. It looked like she was cutting off a piece of her husband, who was a paraplegic. He was alive, okay? And it turned out she had been eating parts of him, like eating him over a course of 3 years so she could survive. So she
And the
didn't
story,
starve to death.
yeah, the story she told the cops that she had no money for food, and that was her only option.
Yeah, that was her only option. Now, when they found him, he was still alive. He had no legs. She had taken the legs off. He had no arms. So she'd taken those off too. Okay. And when they got there, there was marks on his abdomen. She had taken out like fresh pieces off his abdomen, which is, I would assume that's what the neighbor saw her cutting, was his abdomen. So the other story is this lady that had been married for 40 years. Her husband had passed away and she keeps his ashes in her fridge. Okay. And she's eating like a small handful of his ashes a day so he could be with her at all times. Mr. E, what's up? I just told you what we were listening or what we're talking about. I know the chat gets a little bit behind, like it's about a 10-second, 20-second delay around there. So I mean you guys will hear it.
I mean, okay, so with the cremation one, now I know, like my
Till
stepdad
then, family.
they sell options. They sell like lockets where they'll put a few ashes in the locket. And it's like a necklace, or they can embed ashes into a ring, like
Mhm.
a made crystal or something like that. Put it in a ring so you can keep your loved ones with you wherever you go.
Yeah, up here they have like a little mini urn. So
Yeah,
they
they
don't embed it. They just put a bit of the ashes in it and then seal it shut and you just wear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now they take the ashes and they'll put them in a press and they'll put a seed in those ashes and you can actually plant those ashes and those ashes will nourish the seed to grow a tree.
Yep, I saw that too. Which I thought was a pretty cool idea. I
Mhm.
thought that was way better than spending $40,000-$50,000 on an urn just to be put in a wall or the ground or to sit on a mantle when you could actually have a tree and actually start rebuilding some of the nature back that people are taking out. So
Well,
Green
you never
Bay,
know, that tree may grow into something that your grandkids have a swing from one of these days or something, you know?
exactly. So Green Bay said, "Did she have a Home Depot credit card for a chainsaw?" That would persuade my answer. The more I try to make sense of the details in this story, the more twisted it gets. It does. It's one of those things like we've been talking about this off YouTube, guys, for actually since Lady Swan sent me the story.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks. Here's a question, JoJo. Ever hear of it's a human being spiritual start? No, because to be honest with you, all I know of cannibalism is that they eat people. That's all I know. I never really, like I said, I'm not into the whole eating people. So I mean,
If you think about it, there's a long history of what I would call situation cannibalism. There was a soccer team that plane crashed in like the Alps. They couldn't get to them. They ended up having to eat parts of the dead to survive until they were rescued.
mm,
Knows the story of the Donner Party, of course. You
yeah.
know, they're
Well,
heading out
Warsaw brought that up too.
they're heading over a pass, get hit with a real bad snowstorm. People start dying, and in order to survive, they had to eat the dead. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, they didn't say what she was using to cut them up. They didn't say if it was like kitchen utensils, if it was like, I mean, for the flesh, I mean, I guess if the knife is sharp enough, I guess you could use that versus using like industrial tools, you know.
Eileen, I am too.
Curious about where and what happened to his VA check. Well, from what the story said, it basically paid for their home. Like it was just paying. They had enough money to get by to pay the bills, basically, and not enough money to actually put food into the house. So, I mean, in that scenario, wouldn't it have been smarter? Like, I know nobody wants to sell their home, in that
right.
case, but wouldn't it have been smarter to just downsize? That's what I would have thought. Saw both Alive movies about.
With that, I mean, when you downsize and you start looking for another home, that's okay. You downsized, you made a little coin, but now you're starting to look for a home for not only yourself, but to take care of a paraplegic. So
Mhm,
no steps involved.
mhm.
Okay. Ramps, bathrooms that are handicap accessible. I mean, it's a lot harder to find the specifics that you need in that type of situation, especially in this area,
Oh, that's a good possibility too, but I mean, if that's the case, I'm sure you could have modified it or had a family like stayed with a family or something. There could have been other options, is what I'm saying. I mean, there's always other options. Dakota and family says legs are the most tender. Wait, thought you were talking about fried chicken. Yeah, no, we're talking about fried people. Wish KFC.
KFP.
Yeah, KF. Well, wouldn't it be
I
KF
know.
KFM, Kentucky Fried Man?
I wonder if she had her own secret blend of 16 herbs and spices.
So Wacky wants to know, was she an extra on the movie set of Silence of the Lamb? That would persuade my answer.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure how she did it and hit a major blood vein that would make him bleed out fast. Well, see, and this is the thing that we're still trying to wonder, was she some kind of medical background? You
A
know?
lot of people in this area are. Since it happened in Centerville, which is just right out the road from me.
Much
Like I
love,
said, a
Boomer.
lot of people in this area are.
Oh, so there
I
you
mean,
go. I
either
mean,
nurses, CNAs, first responders. Like probably 1 out of every 5 people that I know from this area is either in the fire department, EMS, a CNA, or some kind of nurse at a hospital. That's the majority of the job market in this area. In fact, my daughter-in-law is working as a CNA right now. So
oh,
even in this house.
yeah. So Gina says she must have been mentally ill or on a bunch of meds. Boyd says if it was me, somebody gonna get eaten because my ex cooked Cajun for too long and this boy's hungry. Ever heard of the Wendigo? It's another supernatural creature on cannibalism. Honestly, like I said, I don't when it comes to supernatural or paranormal stuff, I know a lot about it, but when it comes to like the cannibalism stuff, I honestly don't know anything about it. I honestly don't. No amount of garlic and salt would make me dig but see, this is the thing, like, if you're not told what it is, not then this is my thing. My parents used to do that to me as a kid. Okay. So as a kid, my parents would tell me, hey, this is such and such. You know what I mean? They wouldn't actually tell me what it really was until I ate it because if they had told me what it was, I probably wouldn't have touched it. You know what I mean?
you could take them strips, she could be slicing just thin strips off of like his legs or his arms, putting them in a food dehydrator with Worcestershire sauce or teriyaki blend or something like that, and making jerky. It
Yeah.
could be the best jerky you ever had, as long as you didn't know that it was human flesh that you was eating. You'd be like, "Oh, this is good. You got any more? I got to get this recipe." You know,
Yeah,
never know.
exactly. And
You never know.
that's the thing, right? You don't know. And I mean, if they ever had any family or anything come over, all she would have to say really is, well, due to him not being able to move and blood not circulating that well, you know, they had to amputate.
Boy.
If the guy can't talk, he can't say, well, no, my wife's eating me and you're about to eat a piece of my ass cheek. You know what I mean?
And dare I say it? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Eat my ass.
Oh my God.
That's for you,
Literally.
Brian.
Literally. My mama got nothing by me. She tried. Honestly, like, I don't know. And the whole ashes thing, like you're saying it's sterile, but it still can't be good to do that every day. Just
I
like
mean,
beef jerky.
as long as she's doing it in moderation, it could be like less than a teaspoon.
By the way,
for your food, and you probably wouldn't even notice.
By the way, Ghost, this is from Mutt Nuts. He just lost the taste of his beef jerky because of you. So, way to
Sorry.
go. Crazy what goes on behind people's closed doors when you hear stuff. She must have known how to close main arteries or drank blood to. Well, he survived for 3 years. 3 years she was doing this to him. And I mean, he lost 2 legs in the process, and both, like, well, he lost his legs and his arms in the process. So, I mean, she had to have known how to close off arteries. She had to have known how to stitch him up and, you know, take care of it so it didn't fester and become infected, because how are you going to explain that at the ER? At least she wasn't snorting fire ants. Yes, I saw that on 1,000 Ways to Die. Stupid people. Stupid people. I would rather eat bread and mustard sandwich. But this is the thing, is her claim was they had no food, literally no food. They couldn't afford food. Mind recapping. Yes, Jennifer. I think I got the idea. Okay, so the woman from Centerville ate her husband, okay, over a period of 3 years. And they were both in their 60s. She was 62. He was 65. He was a paraplegic. The neighbor had seen her doing like what looked like cutting him through the living room window and called the police. And when the police got there, he had no legs. He had no arms. He, from what it seemed, he wasn't talking because they never got they never said if he said anything. They just said that he is alive. They took him to hospital. He is going to live through it, but he's going to have a lot of mental trauma from it, which, I mean, he could have very well been fully communicating with her, and just the trauma alone could put him into a full mute state. You know what I mean?
Shock, yeah.
So, I mean, could have just shocked him to the point where he just couldn't speak anymore. The next lady that we spoke about didn't say where she was from. The first story is from Centerville, Ohio. This lady was on a show, and it was basically like weird addictions, things like that. She had her husband. She was married for 40 years. He passed away. She kept his ashes like in his urn in the fridge, and she would eat a small handful. Brian's losing his shit over here. She would eat a small handful of his ashes. You're making it hard for me not to laugh, and this isn't something I want to be laughing at. She would eat a small handful of his ashes every day so he could be close to her. What's hard to swallow? Haha, pun intended. Oh my God.
Now, here's the thing. When somebody is cremated, all of them doesn't burn up. There's little pieces of bones and teeth and things like that doesn't burn up all the way, and they will put that in the boxes with the ashes.
Yep.
Okay. So in order to get a good powder ash, you actually have to sift the powder out, the bigger pieces out of it. Okay. So in order to eat it, you don't want to be sitting there and be like, I got a tooth, kind of thing. So literally she would have to sift the fine dust out of the ashes to be able to do what she's doing.
Now, here's my question though. Like when they cremate someone, okay? I've been told this. I have friends that work in that industry. And it's impossible to get every bit of ash out of there, okay?
Right.
So I mean, you're not just getting their ashes, you're getting
Right.
other people's ashes too. So what if that tooth you find isn't even your husband?
That's a possibility. Yeah.
This conversation can go so many ways. Oh my god. Good to know. Or put in a blender. Oh, like a meat frappe, I guess. Other than being crazy, did she give a reason why she ate her paraplegic? Yeah, they couldn't afford food. They could not afford food. Basically, yeah, he was a vet, but the money that he was getting went to their bills. So it went to sustaining a roof over their head and their electricity and water and all that kind of stuff. So her only option was she was either going to starve to death or eat him, and well, she ate him. Find you later. Gonna run for a bit. All right, Wacky. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tweeting it out as well. Guys, smash that like button. Make sure you share this out. It's an interesting conversation, I think, anyway. It's twisted. I know it's twisted. That's the whole point to it being whacked out. But what do you like? What would possess you to even do that? And I mean, when it comes to the grief thing, the lady with the ashes, when it comes to the grief thing, are you really that distraught that eating your loved one's ashes? Like, wouldn't you rather have them there with you that way than eating them? Because I mean, it's going to work its way through your system and it's not going to be with you, and then you're just going to have to do it. But once those ashes are gone, he's gone. You know? Does this what? Doesn't
I mean,
this
if you
make
had to eat
think
the ashes, I mean, if somebody was making me eat their ashes and I had to find a way that it wasn't just taking a spoonful of ashes and eating them straight out, I'd like, take a salt shaker, yeah. See, take a salt shaker, put the salt in it halfway, a little bit of pepper in there, and then put a little bit of ashes, mix it up real good, and fry you up an egg, a couple of shakes on that egg, some toast, some butter, you'd never know. You'd never
Remind
know.
me never to eat anything you give me.
Right?
I have
It's this person.
yeah. Meet one leg Joe. What happened to his other? Nothing.
Yeah, I told you, I was running out of places to hide bodies. I had to come up with something.
Some people just need to let
Night,
go.
Dougie.
Well, and I mean, good night, Dougie. Thanks for coming, hun. That's just the thing. Like, and yes, I do agree. I was reading one comment, the mental state that, like, the mental trauma alone for that guy would have been so insane. And maybe that's why he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk because of all the shock. Like, he's so mentally stunned that he's actually frozen, you know?
I mean,
Which
her
is,
mental state couldn't have been that great either. I mean, if that's what
Mhm.
she thought was her only option, you know what I mean?
This is true. Being a widow of a vet and having to pay bills, I can't believe the first story because I pay mortgage bills and food and still have money left. But you don't know their circumstances. Like, everybody's circumstances are different, right? So some people live beyond their means and they just don't want to give up that lifestyle. And I've seen it. I've seen it many times. There's people that have like $1 million home, but they don't make $1 million paycheck. You know? It's very possible that that was what the case was.
Well, not only that, I mean, it's a married couple, and I'm not saying that husband and wives do things like take out credit cards in their husband's names or in their wives' names or anything like that, but it happens.
Yeah.
Happens every day.
See, Jennifer says she thinks he gave the okay to his wife to do it, which is another possibility. Has anyone here heard of the super old movie from the 70s? What? Soylent Green. I can't say I have.
I have in Futurama.
Well, Futurama, yeah, but
well, no, Futurama did it as an Easter egg. Soylent Green is what they was used to cook. Yeah, never
yeah,
mind.
yeah. No, I know.
Talking about though.
I'm fine, Penka. Jill Walker, what's up? Yes, they do. Like, and that's all it takes is living beyond your means and not wanting to change that lifestyle, or you just want to keep it. I mean, think about it. You got a paraplegic husband. If you've already started eating from him, okay, like that, how are you going to explain that when the moving company comes or family comes to help you move?
Right.
Right?
If there even was family. I mean,
well, that's another thing they didn't say. It doesn't give you any of that information. It also doesn't say like if this now, mind you, this lady's story in the news, if her family didn't know, they know now. And this other lady that's eating ashes, if her family didn't know, they know now. Like I have a hard time believing the Ash story just for the simple reason I can't see it being his actual ashes. Like she was just doing it with ease, like it meant nothing. Like if you're really grieving, just the thought of doing that would upset you, I would think. See, that's the other thing, Jennifer. We don't know what the husband ate to stay alive himself. We don't know if she was feeding him, or if like she was cutting off extra and selling it to people so she could buy food. Nobody knows. It didn't say.
I could see there being more to the ashes story.
Yeah,
like maybe there was an ex-wife that wanted his ashes as well or something, or and the wife did it in greed to keep from having to give the other wife part of his ashes, or something like that. I could see something like that happening because greed is just a nasty thing. You know what I mean? And
This is true.
I just think there's more to that story than just what we've read. I think there's more to it.
Hold on one second.
I've heard bad stories on YouTube. Creepy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Did she feed him a bit of her? I don't know. I don't think so. Feeding him pieces of him. Honey, you want some more jerky? Sure, that stuff was pretty good.
See, the story from Centerville, it's been circulating for, I would say, about a year or two now. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's a new story. Some of these stories are really old. Like even the Ashes story, guys, this isn't a new thing. Like this is things that happen all the time. Weird shit like this happens all the time. And I don't understand people's mindsets. Maybe it's because I don't go around sniffing people to see if they'd smell good on my barbecue, but like how would you even come about that? Like one day you bath him and then you're just like, man, you probably smell and taste really good with like freaking barbecue sauce or hot sauce on you. Like how would you even come up with that? Think cannibalism is bad. Look up spirit cooking. No thanks, Warsaw. Usually when you tell me to look something up, it's usually not good. Heard a lot of stories of people wanting to eat ashes of their loved ones. But see, I don't understand it. Grief drove you wanting to have your past loved one's ashes inside you. Keep them close. Actual act. Physically impossible without gagging. See, and that's the thing. She said she would eat a small handful of ashes a day. So are you eating them just like that, or are you using them for a seasoning?
I don't know. But if we got the lady together from the second story with the lady together with the first story, You know, they could both use the ashes to cauterize the wounds a little bit. You pack the wound with ashes and they're sterile, and you can stop the bleeding. So,
And then she could just still eat the meat anyway because she could season it with the ashes.
yeah, there you go. Chew can chew.
Asshole, I had water in my mouth when you did that. Canada is the worst country in the world as far as human trafficking and body parts being exchanged. Statistics say that number 1 out of every 8 people disappear. Yeah, how old is your fact checking there?
Dorothy Mary.
Dorothy, what's up? I came in to say hey, I was shoveling and now I'm tired. I'm sorry, Dorothy. These stories probably won't help you if you're really tired. You might want to sleep now. No, I'm joking. For those of you just joining, guys, smash my like button, please. Share this out on your social medias. We were talking about whacked out marriages, okay? So for all of you that don't know what Whacked Out Wednesdays is, we are going to pick 2 to 3 stories each time, and we're going to tell you these stories, have an in-depth discussion like we're having. And at the end of it, I want you guys to fill up my chat and tell me if it's real or fake. It's not the end right now, so don't do it right now. And when I'll tell you which story was real, which one was fake, and we'll go from there. But it's going to be twisted stories. Sometimes it's going to be really funny twisted stories. Like the very first one we did was Valentine's Day and how you could actually buy a cockroach at a zoo and have it named after your ex so you could watch it be eaten alive by meerkats. Okay. And weird Valentine's gifts.
And remember, guys, Whacked Out Wednesday has been brought to you in part by Jack's Leg Beef Jerky. Get you some today.
Sheena, right?
This week is Whacked Out Marriages. The ladies in the story, well, I don't even know if you can call them ladies. Yes, one of them is fake, Jennifer. I don't even know if you can call them ladies. How can you call someone ladies that do this kind of stuff? I mean, I don't do that stuff, and I don't classify myself as a lady. What? What?
I said, whoa, 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 she's a lady.
You're an ass.
Talking about is that a lady?
You weren't buying anything, were you? Did you cook it before buying? Okay, so anyways, the one lady for 3 years has been eating her paraplegic husband until she was caught by the police because a neighbor spotted her cutting pieces off his abdomen. The other lady, whose husband of 40 years passed away, and she keeps his ashes in an urn in the fridge and actually eats a small handful of his ashes a day to be close with him. So yes, that's where we are, guys. That's the recap. Sounds interesting. It is actually pretty gory and disgusting when you get down to it. The first story, the gentleman actually had no legs, no arms because his wife had eaten it, and he was missing parts of his abdomen by the time the police got there. So yeah.
That first story would have been more messed up if she would have ended up getting a job at like Sam's Club as one of those sample people and passing.
Like to try sample today?
Oh my god. Tastes like chicken. Nope. But you're getting close. I think the crazy lady eating her husband is fake because he survived. But see, this is the thing, Jennifer. We don't know if she had a medical background. The story comes out of Centerville, Ohio. Okay. And Ghost is in Ohio for all of you people that don't know. And he says in that area is a lot of medical schools, is there not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Centerville is actually what? About 15 minutes from us.
She's a man eater.
It's out past Jacobsburg, Centerville. So yeah, it's about a 20-minute drive from there.
So here's my question.
It's a country setting area. It's kind of back out in the cut. But, in town, it's close to Wheeling and things like that. So there is a large medical presence in this valley with CNAs, nurses aides, EMTs, firefighters, things like that. There's a lot of medical knowledge spread around in this area.
Well, and that's the thing. So I'm not trying to be a perv. I'm trying to lighten the mood a bit, guys. Does that mean she's the only woman that the husband doesn't have to beg for her to put him in her mouth? That's
True.
it's a valid question. And after she's done, does he still require that she make him a sandwich? If you can learn how to make bomb off the net, I'm sure you can get cooking tips on Yeah, that's very true, Boyd.
Yep.
Both could be true. I've seen a lot of crazy shit on crime shows. That's the thing, though. It's very possible. At the end of this, I will tell you guys. I mean, we can have you guys guess now if you want to, because we're almost actually. Holy crap! We'll be ending this at 12. So I mean, guys, take your guesses. I want to hear what you guys think is real and what's fake.
Story 1 or story 2? Which one is true?
I do agree with Boyd's back bacon though, or Fanny Franny's.
If the man liked her boobs, then she must have liked her man's boobs. Oh, so would it be considered breast meat still? That's my question. I think it's true. Which one's true? Which one's fake, Gina? See, that's what I thought. Great minds think alike. New meaning too, Jill.
Boyd says the woman thinks her husband is true.
Paranormal says story 2 is true. Ashes, yes. Flesh, yes. What?
Ashes, yes, and so Gina thinks they're both true. Which is a possibility, guys. You got to remember, both could be fake, both could be true. One could be fake, one could be true. You don't know.
And they could both be fake or they could both be true. You never know. So.
Never know.
Ashes, I believe, eating your husband, nah.
I,
Now, you
I
guys,
think
you gotta
to the first story though.
you gotta hold on though. You gotta base it off of the fact that there was detail. There was detail of what was done, guys. And you can't look at it from a perspective of what you would do. Because I mean, none of us would really ideally want to eat a person.
No.
You know?
I mean,
But
the first story, it actually said the name of the county, the name of the town, you know.
Sheriff's department, the cop that was talking to them.
Yeah, exactly. Where the second story had very little details.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Think they are both true, but if I had to pick one, be the woman cutting her man. Okay, so you think they're both true, Mutton? Mutt-nuttin? Mutt-nut? Your name confuses me. Oh, cool.
All horror stories have true fact.
True, Boyd, they do.
Somewhere down the line, yes. That is true.
1 is true and 2 is fake. Okay.
Okay. I gotta go, guys. Gotta get some sleep. All right, Warsaw. Thanks for coming. Have a good night. I personally, honestly, guys, I know which ones I go with, but I also did the research, so I'm not going to tell you just yet.
Yeah, can't. Much love.
Lady
Warsaw.
Swan did the research and gave me the first story. I did the
Warsaw.
research, got the other story, and then we did some more researching on both stories. So 1 is fake, 2 is true. That's from Eileen.
Keeps flickering.
Hey, Johnny, what's up?
What's up, Johnny?
Ghost can recap if you want. I've already said it like 4 times, maybe 5.
Okay, so the first story is out of Centerville, Ohio. Older woman, her and her husband of 30 years. She was literally stripping flesh from his body. He's a paraplegic and in a wheelchair.
Not just flesh, though.
Quadriplegic, but a quadriplegic from the neck down.
Yeah.
And she was stripping flesh from his arms and legs and eating it because she had said, and this is after one of the neighbors said she was abusing her husband. Cops show up to do a welfare check, find out that this quadriplegic has no arms, no legs. He's just a torso, and she's been cutting meat off of his
Abdomen.
To eat. She's already stripped his arms and his legs dry and literally, he's just a torso now. She was actually eating parts of him. And now it doesn't say it in the story, but I have to guess that she was actually feeding himself as well to keep him alive so that she continued to eat. And this was happening over the course of 3 years. She had been doing this because she said she didn't have enough money for groceries and they were starving. That's the first story. Second story is a woman so loved her husband that after 40 some years and he passed away, was cremated, and to be closer to her husband, she had been eating his ashes a little bit at a time.
So it's up to you guys to tell us. Just
So-
woke up. I was going to take 12 hours, so thought I'd check everyone's live stream tonight. Sweet. Sounds cool. So yeah, if you guys want the answers, I can tell you the answers right now. I mean, we're still going to continue this conversation. We're going till 12 anyway, so it's only 11:27 where we are and where Ghost is, so we can drag this out a little bit more and we can tell you some more weird stories and more screwed up marriages, which I think actually, you know what? I think I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to make you wait.
Yeah, boy.
Lady Swan did send me another story. And
Okay,
it was about...
Let's hear the third story.
This one isn't about being eaten, though. Okay? This is just a really whacked situation. Now, everybody knows Miranda Lambert. Okay? Unless you live under a rock. Anyways. Go on, drag it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dragging it out. So she married this police officer. Okay? This police officer apparently was leading a double life. Okay? So, well... What?
Triple life.
Well, according to the thing, it says double.
Eat meat, eat meat,
Oh.
eat Wendy's, eat meat.
So he was actually engaged to another girl or another woman when he met Miranda, okay? He met her when she went to one of the shows, one of the talk shows, okay? Which one was it, to be exact?
What's up, Blue Rock?
Give me a second.
Good Morning America.
Yeah.
it says.
Yes, it was. So he was engaged to this other woman, and while he was seeing Miranda Lambert after he met her, he was also having his first child with this other woman. No notification. We will recap everything for you, Lou. Okay? Now this...
No, JoJo.
What?
He had a baby with a different baby mama, not the lady he was engaged to.
Mm,
He had told the lady he was engaged to keep the engagement hush hush.
yes. But see, the way I read it was he was engaged to that same woman. Either way, okay? This guy was a douchebag from the sounds of it. Now, what?
A bigamist.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, he welcomed his first son in. He's engaged to this other lady as well. Okay, guys? Then turns around and after 3 months of knowing Miranda Lambert is now married to her. Now, the ex-fiance is furious, and I don't know what she plans on doing about it, but it's aired out all over the tabloids, obviously, because, you know, anytime a famous person does anything, it goes straight to the tabloids. Can't even breathe or walk or take a shit without them knowing.
So I'm going to guess this story is true.
This one I believe is true. Now, I did not do any fact checking to see if it was just a lie or just somebody trying to extort money or whatever, okay? It's just something to fill the gaps here. But in all fairness, I think the news, like the actual news, not the tabloids, the news themselves would have had some kind of inkling on this story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, when you think about it, tabloids are there to sell papers. They're not there to give you the facts. Now, some of the stuff that they do has facts to it, but they twist them. And they twist them to sell more. That's what they do. Now, keep in mind, the other two stories not only came from newspapers and television, but it also came from tabloids as well, because obviously tabloids got a hold of those too. Lou hasn't heard the stories. Lou this is probably going to be right up your alley, and you're probably going to be like, what the fuck? Like everybody else did that heard the stories. But a lady in Centerville, Ohio for 3 years was arrested and charged because she had been eating her husband, who was in a wheelchair, and I want to say paraplegic. Ghost says he's a quadriplegic.
Yeah, from the neck down.
Yeah. Anyway, she had been eating him for 3 years because she said they couldn't afford food. Now, he was a vet, okay, like I said, he was a vet. And when the neighbor saw her cutting, because this is how she got caught. The neighbor across the road was looking in their living room window and noticed she was cutting pieces off of his abdomen. When the cops got there, he had no legs, no arms. He was just a torso, and his torso had been missing pieces as well because she had already started eating his torso. So that's the first story. The second story is a lady that was married for 40 years. Her husband passed away, and she kept his ashes and his urn in the fridge and would eat small handfuls of his ashes every day to keep him close to her.
Pretty nasty.
What I want the chat to tell me, and most of them have, they've put in their guesses as to which one's real, which one's fake. But what's your take on it? Everybody's take. I mean, I've heard the majority of it in the chat already.
Lou says he wants to know where the lady with the ashes lives because he wants to do an EVP session there.
What are you going to do? EVP her stomach? Now, how creepy would it be if you went to that lady's house, she allowed you to do an EVP, and the first thing that comes across that is stop eating me?
Well, that's messed up.
Right?
That's some crazy shit right there.
Well, it's true. So we'll wait for Lou's response. Which
Lou
one's real? Which one's fake?
I just put that in there. Lou didn't actually text me.
It wouldn't surprise me if Lou did text you and say it.
Lou types in what he thought.
It would not surprise me if Lou was like, wait, how do I get a hold of these people? But I mean, Ghost has already turned Mutt Nut Review there off of beef jerky permanently.
Look, if you don't know, you go to somebody's house and they're feeding you something that they killed and they say, oh, you're going to love this. You ask what it is and they won't tell you, don't eat it. Just saying.
What do you do if she offers you a sandwich? The ashes, I'd fake.
I'd fake.
See, and this is the thing too. That's the thing with the ash story, okay? How do you know it wasn't a lady just charring up a bunch of meat saying it was a husband? You know what I mean? Just to get her 15 minutes of fame.
True. And people are sick. They'll do anything to get on television.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
clearly, they'll do anything to get their name out there. It doesn't matter how twisted it is. Doesn't matter if it's real. Doesn't matter if it just doesn't matter, period. You know? But from my point of view, I would say the ash eating was fake.
Yeah.
But I do know the answers.
That's the thing. With the first story, the lady was trying to keep it hidden. She kept it hidden for 3 years. With the second story, she contacted a television show and said, hey, I got a story for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That screams like, okay, she's just wanting to get on TV and she'll make up any kind of story to do it, you know?
Yeah. See, and that's the thing that I'm thinking. Like, if that's the case, oh, hang on. Bad thing is, I was eating Jack Link's jerky too. Yeah, he was eating jerky when you did that.
That was Jack's leg beef jerky.
Oh my god. But it's true. Like, and I mean, what kind of lengths will people go to? That's the other thing. I mean, when it comes to surviving, would you be willing to do that? If that's the case, like, I mean, some people live beyond their means, and if you really don't want to sell your house and you really don't want to give up your way of living, what's to say that you wouldn't eat your spouse?
I mean, and again, I live in the same area that the story took place in. And I know that we are rated for like 40 to 60 deer per square mile. At any given day, I can go out in the 2 acres of my backyard out of the 7 and bust a deer and have me deer steaks for dinner. You know, it wouldn't even be a thing. So, you know, I could be stone broke and still eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, if you're in there, if you're having to deal with what they're dealing with and give
But
as
it comes
bad
down
as
to the old adage: teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for the rest of his life. Give a man a fish, and he'll eat for a day.
yeah, but if she's already got her fish per se sitting right there in her face and she knows he's not going to last long.
But you only can eat so many brown M&Ms before you go, Jesus Christ, I want a green one. You know?
Well, this is true, but I mean, look at, and I hate to say it, Warsaw was saying about cannibalism. That's what they do. So there's got to be different recipes. And I know that sounds sick to say. I'm not about to research it, but there's got to be. In these scenarios, you have to look and you have to, well, you have to think like a fucked up person. You have to think that way in order to figure it out and figure out where their mindset is.
True. I just know that, you know, me personally, I could be stone broke and still survive. I'm not going to go hungry. There's no such thing as going hungry in the United States anymore. I mean, if you're out in the country, look, if it comes down to getting in trouble for poaching a deer, you have no other choice. You do what you have to do. If you get caught, you pay the consequences. But, you know, if it's a matter of not having food to feed your family and breaking the law to do it, that's, you know, kind of a gray area. I mean, I don't condone poaching or anything like that, but if you got a household that you have to feed and no money to feed them, you do what you got to do. Whether, you know, you take advantage of rabbit season or deer season or whatever, you go out, you hunt your food, you grow crops in the summertime, you fish, you know, you got a smorgasbord right in your backyard. I mean, really, you do.
Did you see Boyd? Yeah, I can hear Gordon Ramsay now. This dish tastes like ass. Take it back to the kitchen.
All right.
And yes, for everyone asking, the lady that was eating her husband for 3 years, she did go to jail. She was charged.
Yep.
You know, like the lady eating ashes, she did go through a psych evaluation. I know that much because on that show, that's what they do with the people that come on that show is they want to basically try and understand why they're doing it and the effects that it has on them.
Well, here's the thing with the lady eating ashes, though. What trouble could she get in for that? You know what I mean? It's
Well,
not like killing her husband to do it. Okay, he's already passed away. He's already been cremated, and he's just ash.
yeah, but then it becomes desecration.
He exists. No, the desecration happened when they burned him.
Yeah, but you can't even scatter ashes without getting in shit. So, you know, that doesn't.
See, that seems like a gray area to me because you could pretty much scatter ash just about anywhere. I mean, unless you're doing it in a downtown area in front of the courthouse or something like that. And then they sue you for littering. Okay. Seriously. I mean, you know, it's a very gray area. It's not like she's breaking the law by eating the ashes.
No, but the effects on her mental state, because you got to understand, even though it's not illegal to do that, it still will affect your mental state. Rather, whether it's a human in live form, dead form, or ash form, it's still a human being. You know, it's still someone you knew, still someone you had feelings for, you held dear. Doing that would affect your mental state because obviously you're not grieving properly enough to get it out of your system and grieve without doing something insane is the only way I can put it. You know, you're not dealing with the grief process. Instead, you're doing something morbid, you know?
I mean, I guess it would be more to me, it would probably be more disgusting if it was like her dog of 15 years that she loved so well, and then she had cremated and she was eating the ashes of the dog or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, but like most people, when you have a pet that passes away, if you're really attached to the pet, they go and take it to a taxidermy
Well, yeah.
and they get it stuffed,
Yeah.
which is it's a little weird, but I mean, you do the same when you're hunting for sport or you
So
catch a big game.
if you can do that with your animals, why couldn't you do that with your husband?
See, I was waiting for that to come up because you actually can. There are places that will do it.
I mean,
There are.
okay, so for some reason, okay, you're live on YouTube, you get swatted, and they they come into your house, and here's your freeze dried husband in the rocking chair in the corner. It's just like they're gonna get you for it. You know, it's at some point somebody's gonna come in, see your husband that's been freeze dried and mummified, sitting in the chair, and they're gonna think, "Oh, this chick is crazy. We got a whole Norman Bates situation going on here."
But that's the thing is they're actually allowing some people to do this in some countries. Not in Canada. I don't know about the States, but I know it's not in Canada. But I
You
know in some of the other countries.
Grandpa's birthday and setting the grandkids in his lap and taking this picture. He's been dead for 3 years. You know, that's twisted, okay?
It is twisted, but it's no more twisted than eating a fucking person alive or downing their ashes.
Mm.
You know, there's got to be a line where you let go. No, I bury my pets in the cemetery for pets in my father's front yard. Yes. No, we do too, but I'm just saying like people do these things and everybody always gets shocked. They're like, "Oh my god. Oh my god," you know? But the thing is it's kind of sad when you don't get shocked. Like reading the story was shocking, but when you look at all the other messed up stuff that goes on in this world, it's really not that shocking. Look at the movies that come out, okay? Someone has to think of these things in order for them to be made. So if they can conceive it, it had to have come from somewhere.
Boyd Wood says, brought to you in part by Kraft Ashes Spread. Put it on your toast or crackers for a light snack.
But you watch her enough. She is crazy. Very out there. Who's out there? Hold on, I'm missing something. Sparky said something. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Sparky.
Watch who enough. Who's out there? And listen, I'm crazy, but if that was directed at me, I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy enough to eat people. Okay? I can tell you that much.
I mean, if it came down to it in a life or death type situation where you was out in the middle of nowhere, you know, kind of like that movie Alive, where the plane crashed in the Alps, there was no vegetation around them.
David,
and,
the producer.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you had to do it or you were going to die. Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah. Do you want to recap it again for David there?
Okay. So this will be the last recap of the night, probably.
Yeah, this is going to be the last recap.
First story was, woman from Centerville, Ohio, was arrested and brought up on charges for mutilation of her husband, basically. And he was a quadriplegic in a wheelchair. She had been stripping flesh from his arms, his legs, and his torso over the course of the last 3 years, to the point where all he was now was a torso. Neighbor was walking a dog past her house, happened to see the lady taking a knife to her husband through the window, called the cops. Cops come in, they catch her, arrested her for it. Here, she told the cops that they had no money in the house and she had been eating pieces of her husband's flesh for the last 3 years to survive. That was story number one. Story number two, older woman, husband passed away. They had him cremated, and to feel closer to her husband, she had been eating little bits of his ashes every day.
We're basically carrying on the discussion of just figuring out, like, just basically carrying on the discussion. Like, how would this stuff, like, how could you do this stuff, first of all? How could you do it for so long and get away with it before anybody notices? Okay, whether it's eating the person in the wheelchair or eating ashes, you know, like.
And what kind of dry rub did she use? These are the questions we want to know.
Exactly. And I mean, Ghost has already ruined beef jerky for people, so.
I'll still eat it.
But yes, Jennifer is right. You need to guess which one is real and which one is fake. Now, keep in mind both stories can be real, okay? Both stories could be fake, or one could be real and one could be fake. It's your job to tell me what you guys think. We've got 14 minutes before this stream ends, guys, and just before it ends, I will tell you the answers. I will. Gina says no one can ruin beef jerky for me. I still love back bacon. Oh my god, Boyd. Oh my god. Have you ever noticed that lately, every time I do a stream, I'm losing my voice near the end of it? Every time.
And again, guys, keep in mind that the first story, the lady kept it hidden for 3 years. It wasn't until one of the neighbors seen her taking a knife to her ex-husband through a window that she actually got caught. The second story, the lady who was eating the ashes actually sought out this production company that had a show and was like, "Hey, I got a story for you." She wanted it to go public. She wanted her story out there. I have to question as to why. I have to question the validity of the story because she's coming public with it. Because the first story, the lady kept it hidden for 3 years,
This is true. I personally, I don't know. I personally would believe that the ashes would be fake. Now, I do know the answers, so I'm not going to give it away. Hey, what's up, Syntax? How's it going? You have caught us. He's new here, guys, just so you know. Guys, you know the drill. I'm not a support for support channel, guys, but I do encourage you guys to get to know each other. So if you're going to do your thing in here, I ask that you stay, you chat, you get to know, mingle with people. Leave them comments on their most recent. Actually, visit these channels, guys. The first lady needs darker curtains. Oh my god. No, that was David.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, like I said, in this area, it's entirely possible that the wife that was cutting flesh could have been in the in-home care industry or had some kind of medical background. Nurse's aide or nurse herself, or even being part of a fire department EMT or something like that. So it's entirely possible, considering that he was a quadriplegic and she was the one as his primary caregiver. He didn't have anybody coming in, or she would have got caught long before 3 years. So that kind of dictates to me that she would have had to have some kind of area in the medical field to be able to take care, to be deemed able to take care of her husband by the courts and things like that. So.
This is true. I personally think that she had to have medical background to do any of it, because to make him last 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this chicken is so good.
But then again, if you slice them, like I said, if you slice them thin enough, put them in some Worcestershire sauce, maybe some teriyaki blend, put them in that food dehydrator, beef jerky right there.
Now, keep in mind, there is. Oh my god, hang on. I'm losing my voice again.
Hey, babe.
1
My
second.
stomach's fine.
Yeah, Brian's over here eating chicken. Okay, we just talked about someone eating their spouse, and my husband is over here eating chicken. There's something seriously wrong with him. Anyways, there is a medical term, guys, for people that eat ashes. So keep in mind, it's actually called pica. Okay, and it's people that crave ashes or dirt or clay, sand, stuff like that, chalk, anything that's kind of gritty like that, or like ash form, dirt form, stuff like that. It's an actual medical condition. So, I mean, there's a possibility that that story is true too. But with 9 minutes left, guys, I will give you the answers. I think I dragged it out enough. I think you guys suffered enough. Oh, the stories you can have tomorrow when you speak to people that you see in real life. So, the first one, guys, and actually, hey, Harmony, a lot of you guys are spot on. Okay, the first story is fake. Okay, it was a hoax. It was not a real story. It was literally just someone trying to get more people onto their blog by shooting out fake news. Okay,
Yep.
the lady eating ashes, okay, is real. It actually is a medical thing. Okay, that coupled with her grief would very well make that possible. And like I said, she did get examined by actual doctors on the show. So it was real. And on the show, it did show her eating the ashes, like physically eating the ashes.
Nature's beauty. Hey, Harmony.
I knew it. I was correct. Oh my God, I would have thought it was real. It is. The ashes are real. The woman that ate her husband is not real. Whacked out marriages. Well, I'm not married, so frick. Hello, Trizzy. What's up?
What's up?
Drizzy, you got to go back and watch this, man, because it's not about being married. It's about
Yeah.
some whacked out marriages you'll want to hear about.
It's about it's a good reason not to get married, Trizzy.
Right?
Not even gonna lie to you, it's a very good reason. But yes, make sure you rewatch it, guys. If you're just coming in, we've recapped it so many times, guys. I'm not gonna recap it again because
Just rewind it.
in about 8 minutes we're gonna be off here, or 7 minutes, something like that. Anyways, we're gonna be off here. So, but yes, story number 1 is real. Story number 2, or sorry, story number 1 is fake. Sorry. I'm not even listening to myself while I'm talking. Good stream, guys. That was fun. Thanks, Jennifer. I already saw the one about the chick who was eating her husband. That was freaking disturbing. It's not real, Trizzy. It's actually fake. Hello, James. What's up? Tell you what, you're very good in carrying stories out. Thank you, Natures. I hope you guys do enjoy Whacked Out Wednesdays. Like I said, guys, you guys can email me if you want me and Ghost and Brian to discuss certain topics, like certain stories that you find disturbing. It doesn't matter if it's real, it doesn't matter if it's fake, because even if you send me a fake one, I'm sure I can find a real one that's right in the same line of weirdness. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday. We did miss last Wednesday. I win. Where's my free range man leg? Well, Ghost, chop off your leg. David needs some man leg. Eat window. They lied to me. Hey, Christy. So yeah, guys, check out the beginning of the stream if you guys didn't. If you didn't get a chance, you didn't watch it, or you weren't here for it, check it out. We're gonna be ending the stream, like I said, at 12. It's 11:54 right now for us. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this? I mean, you can't go off, JoJo. I just woke up. I'm sorry, Harmony. We've already been live for almost 2 hours, guys.
Yes. If you guys have any strange or unusual stories, whacked out stories like that, hit JoJo up on Twitter, send them to her, or on Facebook. And
Yeah.
if it's something good, we'll get it on the show. We'll add it to a show.
Damn right.
That we will.
Eating chicken after all that, like fuck. I think it made me hungry.
I know this isn't the kind of show that you guys are used to with like the Takeover Tuesdays and things like that, but we definitely wanted to give it a twist, tone it down a little bit, but still make it wacky and just weird and creep you out and gross you out, and without being too vulgar. You know what I mean?
Without being too morbid and vulgar. I mean, I don't know how much more. Well, no, that's not true. You can get
Well,
really.
we
You
haven't
can get a
dropped,
lot more morbid.
you know.
You can get a lot more morbid. Swatted like gills. What do you mean? Oh, the SWAT stories and that's going on. See you soon. All right, David. Thanks for coming in. Sounded mean. I actually like this. Honestly, I'm enjoying this. We've only done 2 shows of Whacked Out Wednesday so far. I'm actually enjoying it. Even just finding these things and reading them, it's entertaining. It really is.
It is.
Hope I wasn't too bad. No, Boyd, actually, you kept us laughing, and at some parts we shouldn't have been
Yeah,
laughing.
boy.
But it was Boyd's remarks that
Boyd.
was like, what the hell?
Hey, Boyd. Fanny Franners.
Oh my god. He's still over there eating chicken, and I mean, like, he's devouring it. He said that the stories made him hungry, which makes me worry. So if I go missing, guys, please just know that I could be I could be like being eaten, and not in like a
No.
good way. That came out so bad. See, even when I try to stay clean, I can't. It's just not in me. I'm sorry.
You
Guys, gotta go. What? Guys, I got a slice. Too bad you can't have a piece. Oh my god, Boyd. Alright, guys, I'm gonna get ready. What?
I said I could go for a slice right now. Of pizza.
A pizza.
I want pizza.
Gotta say, it's live streams like this that keeps people on board the whole entire time without looking for other streams. Well, the whole point is we want you guys to interact because, oh my god, yeah, don't do that too, Matt. we're having Ghost for dinner, literally, just so you know.
Night, Boyd.
But
Think of your Fanny Frannies.
it's stuff like this. We want you guys to interact more with us. Like, yeah, we have fun doing panels and we have fun doing our live streams when it's just us, but we want to see you guys interacting. Guys, make sure if you come across something weird, send it to me. You can send it to my email. I'm on Instagram. Don't send it on Facebook. I'm starting to limit who I'm actually adding on Facebook. So if you don't have me on Facebook already, don't try to add me because I'm not going to accept. And I'm not trying to be a bitch about it. But you guys can go to the Nation's 13 family page. You can add it on there. Homegrown steak.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
If you send your own homemade beef jerky or deer jerky or turkey jerky to Brian at P.O. Box, what's your P.O.? He will eat it live on the air. He'll try it. He'll at least try it.
My
Hey,
God.
Belinda.
Yeah, no home baked goods or home cooked goods. Nothing like that is gonna be eaten if someone sends us food. That shit's going in the garbage. I'm warning you now.
Boyd, breakfast time. Franny Fannies and eggs.
Oh God, Boyd. But guys, I had fun. I know Brian had fun. Ghost, by the look on his face, had fun. I hope you guys had as much fun.
He wants to challenge Mutton Nuts to the beef jerky challenge.
Oh.
Yeah, Mutt Nuts review. Come on. I'll go out and I'll buy 2 things of teriyaki, and we'll see who can down it the quickest.
So the first name is Terry and the last name's Aki?
Yep.
Great idea for this live. JoJo Ghost and Brian, I enjoyed it. No problem, Natures. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Guys, make sure that you did smash that like button. If you missed the stories, go back to the beginning, watch them. I'm sure you'll be both thoroughly engaged and disgusted like we all were. And I think I'm going to let my panel say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming and supporting JoJo's channel and that. You guys are all awesome. Hope you didn't get too grossed out, but yeah, we had to keep it for you. Much love, everybody. Thanks for the laughs, Boyd. That was awesome, man.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow night over there on EVPs on Ghost Mafia's channel at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Ghost Mafias. Be there, be square. Hell yeah.
What are you, like 80? Be there, be square.
Not 80.
All right, guys. On that note, we will catch you guys next time. Make sure you guys are over at Ghost on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, guys, for EVPs.